What's up guys, in this video we're going to go through some more items that are super cheap to use but very helpful as well. I've done quite a few videos like this and you guys seem to enjoy them, so I figured, you know what, let's do another part to it with different items and hopefully it helps you out and hopefully you enjoy. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so item number one is going to be the Charming Potion. You see we've got one here in our inventory, and these are super cheap, like under 5k on the Grand Exchange. I'll put it on screen for you guys to see what I just paid for grabbing this. But these are absolutely necessary for anybody who is collecting the charms from anywhere in game to level up their summoning, because it's going to save you a ton of time. So what this does is basically it is going to give you an extra charm per charm drop. So, for example, if you kill a Water Fiend, you have a pretty high chance, because the Water Fiends are probably the most common way to get red charms, let's say. Killing Water Fiend has a pretty high chance to give you just one red charm, or one gold charm, as you can see here with this kill. I will quickly just kill enough to make sure we grab one of them. But if we do that with the, there you go, we've got one Crimson Charm. If we do that with the Charming Potion on, we'll actually get two instead of just the one. And it's always one without it anyway, like it's not between one or one between two. If we kill these off, you're going to see, there we go, we got three in total now, meaning we got two from that drop. So this is going to increase the amount of charms you can get insanely, like, quickly. Like, it's going to be so damn good, and you definitely want to be taking advantage of this. If you're taking charms or collecting charms for summoning and not using this, then you're absolutely crazy, because it's so cheap and it lasts as long as an Overload does. That's as long as an Overload does, and it's 5k. And you get 4 doses. I mean, well, damn, I did this without using these. I didn't even know they existed, so figured I'd include it here. Very quick interruption to let you guys know that I've dropped another merch launch over on the merch store. There'll be a link in the description on the pinned comment. But this time there's a limited custom gaming mouse mount that is 900 by 400 wide, and it will come with your RuneScape name or whatever name you choose on the actual mat, alongside a little message from myself. If you guys do purchase this, just make sure to reply to your confirmation email so I know your RuneScape username. And because these are limited, on the reverse side of the pad there will be a label that shows which number of the limited amount that your mouse mat actually was. Once these are sold out, I won't be doing any more custom ones, and because they do take quite a while to make, and of course I have to customize each one to put your usernames on there, shipping will take between 2 and 3 months from your order. I just want to say thank you all for the support on the last merch. You guys loved it a ton, so we'll be messing around with some other ideas in the future. That being said, let's get back to the video. Another couple of items that are insanely good value for money, like incredibly good value for money, is the Elder Rune Ore Box and the Elder Wood Box as well. I think in my very first video of this sort of thing, I mentioned the Elder Rune Ore Box, but since then we've had the Wood Box as well, so it's worth updating for any newer players who maybe don't know that these exist. You can buy these on the Grand Exchange and you can use them immediately. You don't have to start off with the lower levels or anything. You can use them immediately and take advantage of the better versions. What these are going to do is, one, the Elder Rune Ore Box for mining is going to allow you to store ores in here of many different types. You can store up to 100 of each ore in there, and as you level up your mining level to the actual level for the specific ores, you will unlock the ability to store more ores of that time in the ore box. The wood box is very similar. The way it works though is you will have an initial capacity of a specific log, and then once you reach level 95 woodcutting, you can increase the maximum amount as seen on screen here. The way this works though is it will increase by 10 every 10 woodcutting levels that you do get. But on screen now are the prices of the two different boxes. The Elder Rune Ore Box I bought for 285,509 coins, and the Elder Wood Box was 95,000 GP. So for what these actually offer and the time these are going to save you, the price tag is insanely low, because they're not too difficult to make, so the price tag to sell them on the GE is pretty low as well. Next up, we're going to talk about a divination item, the Portents of Restorations. Now there's many different versions of this, but for this specific video we're just going to talk about the Portent of Restoration X, or 10 actually, and this is the strongest tradable version that you can actually get. You can make a better version of this, but you have to be able to craft it yourself. Now the way these work is actually pretty awesome. They're really useful for maybe a lot of people. Portent of Restoration can automatically heal you, even if you're stunned, basically, when you drop below a certain amount of health. These are super useful for players that are maybe trying to learn PvM, and all the different things going on all at the same time is getting you killed. So for example, you're trying to deal with a mechanic, but you've also then got to think about eating, you've also got to think about your prayer, you've also got to think about your familiar's abilities, you've also got to think about like loads and loads of different things, item switches, whatever it may may be. This takes away one of those tasks where in a certain part of the fight you may not need to think about eating anymore because you have a potion of restoration in your inventory. It's going to heal you for 1725 health for this version when you drop below half HP. If you drop below half HP or take some damage that's going to drop you below there, then it will trigger that and heal you through it. Now it does have a short cooldown, as you can see here, and in that time you won't be able to trigger another one. And it is also worth noting that if you are already below half HP, then no more of these will actually trigger. This is only if you drop below half HP. That being said though, if this heals you above half HP when it triggers, then it will actually trigger again as long as you are outside that cooldown. But this can basically either act as a buffer in case you forget to eat or there's too much going on and you just don't manage to get to it. Or of course, as I mentioned earlier, it will trigger if you are stunned as well, which could definitely be useful in some situations. Now these aren't too expensive. Right now on the Grand Exchange, you can see I bought mine for 20,000 GP each, which is absolutely fine in my opinion for what this does. So it could be something worth taking a note of. Moving on, we have Magic Notepaper. Now Magic Notepaper came out a hell of a long time ago, so a lot of people probably do know, but for you new players or any long time returning players, this is going to be something that you can definitely use and will want to know about. Magic Notepaper is something that you can buy from other players or on the Grand Exchange, and it's basically used to note up items in your inventory into the bank note version. So if you say kill loads of dragons, as you can see me doing on screen here, and pick up their bones, you can then use the notepaper to note them up so that you don't have to travel to the bank to put them in the bank. Back in the day, you would have to get an inventory, fill up your inventory, maybe fill up a yak as well, and then travel to the bank, put them in the bank, and then travel all the way back. With Magic Notepaper, as long as the item that you're noting is actually a decently high value item, then you can just note them away and just stay here for as long as you like. Right now, these are only around about 525 GP each, which of course means that if you're dropping an item like Frost Dragon Bones and you want to just keep noting these up, you aren't cutting into your profits all that much to be able to save you the time of traveling to and from the bank. In fact, if you note up an inventory worth of these, the time traveled will probably outweigh you in terms of how much you could have made by the time that you've done that. So if you are someone who is doing Slayer and you're wanting to note up certain items that the monsters are dropping, or you are someone looking to do some money making methods that do things like drop Searing Ashes at the Woolly Strikeworms maybe, or you're dropping the Frost Dragon Bones here, you can definitely take advantage of this, and also in PVM too. For example, in Nex, people will take Magic Notepaper so that when you get the Saradomin Brews and Restores dropped, because you can't even carry that many on you at the time, you just pick them up, note as many as you can, then pick up some more, and then note some more as well. This allows you to pick up the entire drop and not lose out on any profit that you got. For the price, definitely an item worth knowing about. So next up, we're going to talk about skilling urns. Skilling urns are something that everybody who is trying to level up specific skills should definitely be taking advantage of, because it's going to buff your XP gains by about 20%, I do believe. Skilling urns can be bought on the Grand Exchange and really aren't that much at all. On screen will be the price check that I've done of a few different versions. So the way this works is the version that you'll buy from the Grand Exchange will need charging with a specific rune. For example, the cooking urns will have to be charged with fire runes. However, once charged, they changed from a unstacked version into a stackable version, so you can just take a massive stack of these with you whenever you're going to do your skill, as you can see me doing on screen here. So as long as you have one of these with you, you can gain experience in that skill line, and you will slowly fill up your urn as well. For every set amount of XP that you get, I believe it is 5 points, you will also get 1 point of XP in the urn. Once the urn is full, you can have these auto teleport away, and that way you'll just gain extra experience in that skill just because it's sat in your inventory. If you didn't know about these, or you thought they were maybe a little bit more awkward to use, then you should definitely be taking advantage of these, as it's going to speed it up by quite a lot. Finally, for this video, I'm going to talk about an item which is a weapon that is super cheap, but actually a very high tier weapon, and that is going to be the Decimation Bow. The Decimation Bow is a tier 87 bow and can be super useful to know about for anybody who is returning to the game and maybe you gave away your bank or something like that. People do this. You shouldn't do this, but people do. I've done it as well. Or maybe the newer player who wants a higher level weapon but just can't quite afford one as of yet. You can get the Decimation Bow, which will only set you back around about 10 million GB. On screen will be the actual price that I've just price checked for it, and again, this may change from when I've bought it to when you guys are watching the video. But for anybody who is working towards upgrading their ranged gear, or even just looking to kill any bosses or do any sort of slayer task or whatever, and you can't quite afford a tier 90 weapon yet, like the Noxious Longbow or Ascension Crossbows, this is a super cheap option, like 10 mil for a tier 87 weapon, which is obviously very close to tier 90, is value for money. So if you do need an upgrade and you don't quite have this yet, and you're looking towards getting a noxious longbow, get a decimation bow. For this price, you can't go wrong. Anyway, that's going to bring us to the end of this one. Hopefully you found something here that was useful. Obviously, this was geared towards like lower to mid-level players. It's just kind of how it is. But if you did enjoy, then make sure to leave a like and sub to the channel if you are new around here. Also, do check out the merch if you are interested. It's a way to support the channel a ton, but also get yourself something cool as well. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.